Hello and welcome back to another episode of Seek Therapy Podcast. It's me, Jasmine,
In America.
And Jasmine Tiger.
and we are back and we are better. So, how's everyone been? What's been our highlight? What's been our challenge? I usually start, so let me go to my notes because I had to write it down. So, my challenge is just that, look at this. I'm allowing my job to push me out of my healthy habits that I've built. And so I noticed that the other day. I was like, damn, I ain't barely worked out this week. Um, I definitely haven't like meal prepped anything. Like I ain't did a lot of my habits. I didn't I won't say all my habits now because this is part of the episode, but I checked in with myself and I was like, bruh, why? We have to figure out a way so that I can stay on top of the things I know make me feel good despite the fact that my job is making me feel unwell. What you gotta say?
But you also giving yourself a hard time because that's not completely true.
Okay, do tell.
You said your goal was to work out 5 days a week. You worked out 4. And when you just
Yes.
said that, you said, I fell off my habits. No, you didn't. You missed a day.
Well, and see, I'll further explain because I wake up usually during the week and work out, or I'll do yoga or just like cardio or something. And this week I literally only got up 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean by like falling off of my habits.
You ain't fall off though. They reduced. You didn't fall off.
Reduced.
And the only reason why I'm pointing that out, and that's not to step on your shit, but I'm gonna take your Jasmine's role real quick because when we shame ourselves as if we didn't do something, like it's that all or nothing mentality. So if
Right.
I didn't do nothing this week or I fell off completely, it's gonna be hard for you to get back in it without shame. Because I saw
Mm-hmm.
your post, you was like, I ain't worked out in 2 days, so I'm gonna do a 60-minute boot camp. And I was like, oh, you could tell that. Never mind. Anyway, so that's not completely.
No, no,
That's a
no.
long ass boot camp, girl.
Say what you wanted to say.
It seemed like it was almost like, bitch, you ain't worked out and you ain't been on your shit, so I'm gonna punish your ass. We're doing 60 minutes of boot camp.
Mm.
And maybe I'm projecting because I do that shit to myself, but that's how it came across. And I was like, but you didn't fall off. You just had a
Mhm.
reduction because you had a
Right.
heavy week the week before.
And the current week was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do
I want
tend
you
to
to
do
be
that.
grace with yourself. That's all.
Well, yes. Thank you for that reminder.
Sorry, didn't mean to step on your stuff. Go ahead.
No, you're good. This is what we're here for.
Come on,
um,
accountability.
right. But yeah, that and just like the fact that the kids, I had told them right before, like, y'all need to say hootie hoo before y'all really get down so I could get the fuck out the way. I literally said that because it
Oh,
was like, Miss, just stay over there looking and da 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 da. I was like, all right, you need to say hootie hoo.
Right.
And I didn't. And this turned into like a big old thing. I moved out the way though. I was not gonna wait for them, but I moved out the way and the principal calling, oh, where's Miss McGregor? And what the fuck Miss McGregor gonna do? What?
Aren't you
Miss
like
McGregor?
5 foot?
I'm 5 foot. Miss
Yeah.
McGregor not doing shit. Miss
Don't
McGregor
do.
is getting the fuck out of the way.
Because I have seventh graders that are eye level with me, and you're at a high school.
Literally.
So, yeah, no. Uh-uh.
So that was a challenge because why is you calling me? Bitch, you come over here if you would like to help.
Mm-mm.
Come
I'm
through.
just like you told the kids to say hootie hoo. That's why they didn't say it.
But that's why, because one, you're caught up in that.
You're
Correct.
not. The thing about it is that they know that the kids love me. They come, they talk to me like no other staff will have no kids coming up to them during lunch. And I have multiple kids coming up to me during lunch and wanting to hang out with me and talk to me. So it's like they know, but confidentiality. So y'all should just be aware that something is afoot.
Goodness.
You should.
But yeah, it was just like, y'all, it's we got out of school at 1 yesterday, and they was so thirsty. Their need for control was so high that they made us stay until 4:30. My job is the kids. My notes stay on done. So
Mm. What
I
was the
fucked around.
reason?
I read, pooped, took a walk, talked to the other PSW, just like, hmm. But my highlight, and this is a very like big highlight, I needed it. So I had a student that was scared to get their mom to sign my consent form and, wouldn't get it. So I have a great relationship with them and I know them. And I saw them and they take so much pride in how they dress, makeup, lashes, the whole nine, edges, baby coat, like it's all always done. Crop top, like we out here, right? I saw them, they had on a baggy shirt, baggy sweats, no makeup, no nothing. I said, hey, what's up? Where you been? What's going on? She's like, I'm gonna come to your office. Came to my office and turns out it's like a SI situation. So I'm
Mm.
like doing that assessment, and I was just like, I'm so grateful that you felt comfortable to tell me, and I'm grateful that we have this relationship that I was able to see that something was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do the assessment and it turns out not to be SI, but hopelessness. And so I'm like, okay, and of course the school calling, oh, she not in her class, calling her mom. So her mom, who is boom, triggered, come calling and why you not in class and da da da. I'm talking to my counselor. So then, oh, let me talk to the counselor. Boom. Let's do
Yeah.
it. Let's really get into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to the mom, yeah, like I noticed some changes and things like that. And I think it would be very beneficial for her to get therapy, and mom's like, I don't know why she need therapy and da da da. And, starts crying. I'm like, do you have any support, anyone that you talk to, like, and helps
Mm.
navigate any of this? And they're like, no. And I was like, I could put a referral in for you too if you wanted. And she was like, I think I would like that.
I like that. That's a good thing.
I love it.
And
Good.
so y'all don't want to recognize me, but I'm out here changing dynamics in families.
And generationally at that.
You gotta say it.
So I just, and then I this week I've been like hugging the kids because I'm like, damn, I feel like they don't be getting like love. So like I'm like, can I offer you a hug? And I hug my kids and they're just like, I don't be getting hug, miss. And I was like, oh, right in the feels.
Mm.
So this week has just been great and like reaffirming in that sense. That's why America, it's like it doesn't feel like I'm being a martyr because I'm only there for them.
Mm-hmm.
All that other shit does not matter to me. Like it impacts me, but I'm here for a bigger purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know nobody else that would have been able to do that like that.
Right.
And the fact that the student came the next day dressed up like, my mom's been acting very different now that she said that she would agree to, she was like, you, miss, you just got my mom to agree to therapy. I'm like, happy Valentine's Day. Love you.
I love it.
No, that's dope as shit.
And lastly, one of my other kids was literally just like, I love you. And I'm like, how'd you know I needed that?
Mm.
because it's raggedy here.
I'm sure they know it's raggedy too, Chuck.
They do. I'm like, if the principal don't understand that the kid's not here and the staff not here for the same reason, a lot of times
Mm-hmm.
it's the delusion for me.
Delusional is one of like my favorite
It
words when used
is,
properly.
child.
When used properly.
Right, because how you been, America? What's been going on?
um. Okay, so my highlights for last week. I took the week off.
I love
I
that for
know.
you. Mm,
Yep. It
okay.
sounded good. Um, let me
She said
see.
it sound good.
It
Take
sounded real good. Um, I got another tattoo, which I showed y'all.
yeah.
And so that
Yes,
was
I
my
love
highlight.
it. I
Yeah.
need to get a tattoo. I need to.
I need to go ahead and make my appointment too.
I support it.
Do you
I
go
know you do.
in telling them what you want, like already with it imaged, or do you talk to them and they come up with it? Like, how prepared do I need to be?
Well, it depends on your
It
artist. So
depends on the
mine
artist, yeah.
looks three
Okay.
months out, and you gotta email her, and she has to approve your tattoo
Ooh,
first. And so I sent her an idea of what I wanted. I went on a safari when I studied abroad in South Africa. When I was there, I was like, I gotta get a safari tatted on me at some point. So fast forward, here we are. So
I
I
love
showed
that.
Thank you. I showed her like an idea of what I was looking for, and then told her I wanted to add in some pieces. And then when I got there, we had a discussion about what she would add in where, and then she drew it. She finished drawing it, and then she put it on. So just depends on your person.
Nice. That's so different from the tattoos I have, which is just like college town, show up at the tattoo parlor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is what I want. Okay, cool. Lay down. $60. What?
Not on your body.
What? Oh no, it's still there. Too
Still
funny.
there.
No,
What
I
you
like
get?
my tattoo. I have
Oh,
a
okay, good.
circle, so it's different. Total 90s kid. It's different Mandarin symbols. So I have blessed, joy, which is my mom's name, spirit, strength, and faith. And then to finish it, I want to get resilient. And so it starts under where my bra is and goes to my hip. It's my whole rib cage.
Can we compare our strengths? Because I got strength right here, and I'm curious if mine look like yours.
It is. It's the same symbol. It's the yeah, that. Let
Wait,
me
it's
see.
the what?
'Cause mine is on my ribs.
I think mine look like that. Hold on. That's
It's
why.
Can we make
girl.
sure that it's a string?
Let me see. Let me see.
Actually, I don't know if mine is Mandarin or if it's supposed to be Japanese. Now that I think about it.
Okay, let me see.
Oh shit. Hold on. Oh, chat. Somewhere.
Yeah, girl, that says chicken fried rice.
Don't
I'm
play with
just
me.
saying. I'm just saying. That's it. That's strength.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that your biggest fear? No, that is. That's the symbol for strength.
Okay.
That's
As long
hilarious.
as it's been there at this point, if it won't, fuck it. It didn't matter.
Right? So I went to the pool, like the campus pool back in college after I finished this and met this really cute Chinese exchange student. And so he like came over and talked to me and stuff. And I asked him, I was like, okay, well, does my tattoo like say what it says? And so I broke everything down and he confirmed that yes, individually, that is what they say. When they're stacked together, it makes no fucking sense. And I
Oh,
was like, you know what? I'll take that. I will take that. So yeah, certified.
The-
I didn't mean to cut you off, America.
huh? I don't think you did.
Oh,
You were on your check-in, America.
mm-hmm.
She
Oh,
said,
maybe.
"Baby." She said,
We
"Baby."
just segued.
Um, what did I tell y'all? Oh, I told y'all my highlights. Okay. Valentine's Day was nice too. That's another highlight. Yay me. Um,
Yay.
My challenge was still that I took a week off.
Huh?
Cause
Okay. Did you have a hard time detaching yourself from work?
no, fuck them kids and fuck you too. No, sir. I don't even see kids.
Really?
So, no, it was the fact that I got a lot of stuff to do because I didn't do
Mm,
anything during that week. So so that's my challenge.
okay. I'll take that. At least you took a full week off. All right. If you can see the faces, log into
Right.
YouTube. All right.
Yeah.
My highlight this week was having memories of Colby and not being reduced to tears.
Hmm.
I was caught driving to work. This particular song keeps catching me. It's Joanne by Lady Gaga. And the song that my youngest cousin, when he came home after we got the news about Colby, that he said he played over and over was Pull Up, Cooped Up by Post Malone. And they also remixed that with Return of the Mac. And so whenever either one of those versions of the song come on, it makes me think of Colby. And so I am finding that I'm comfortable putting those songs, like putting my playlist on shuffle, and if the songs pop up, not, immediately skipping it and
Being
kind of
quick
just
to.
like,
Mhm.
yeah, and just like sitting with it. And I am acknowledging that in my grief that I'm crying for myself. He's at peace. He is not dealing with the bullshit, right? He's not having to worry about what's in the air after these trains derailed throughout the country. You know what I mean? He's not stressed.
Mhm.
So I grief is we're crying for ourselves. I'm sad that I don't get to do life with him. Um, and so yeah. But I say this as my highlight because this week those songs came on and I wasn't reduced to tears. And so for me that is growth.
Growth.
But so yeah. My challenge is, and it's going to go into our episode today about habits, is just letting go of the chokehold that DoorDash has had on me,
Oh,
and
I
just
have something on the way right now.
yeah. And so for me, 2020, not leaving the house and like it made sense. But here we are 2023 and it just no longer makes sense. And so I have to acknowledge that with my DoorDash addiction, it's also a self gratification, like an instant gratification of it. And just, I'm the type of asshole that will have groceries
Sorry.
and will still DoorDash.
I'm sorry. Um,
So
okay.
you know what I mean?
I
Like
don't
to the
think it
point
makes you an asshole. I too be
really when
doing
your
that.
groceries go bad because you're door dashing so much, like you know what I mean? I
Mhm.
I realized that I was like, oh, I'm on my Carrie Bradshaw lifestyle. But really, do you want to be Carrie?
Right.
Think about it. You know what I mean? Do you want to be Carrie? So I'm releasing that. And that is a habit of mine that is no longer serving me. And so acknowledging and changing is a path that we are now on. Ding.
Yes. What you got to say, America? Mm. Okay.
Y'all, I think like this. I don't know. I really lead with self compassion in a way that I think people think I be trying to be funny, but I be so fucking serious because my first thing was first of all, asshole, ill, mean, and then I was like, is it not serving you because you have a refrigerator full of groceries, but you choose to do DoorDash because is it that it's the instant gratification or is it that it feels easier in the moment? it feels easier than cooking after you've been at work all day, navigating all the things and dealing with grief. So that's when I'm like, which one is it? Is it actually like, and you would have to decide. I don't know, but I just want you to consider that there might be something else there.
It feels good to take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
It feels good to have a clean space around me. It feels good to check things off of my to-do list. And for me personally, my door dashing is consistent of like sitting on the couch until the food comes and then like, you know what I mean? Like it's just it's a bubble. And there are things that are piling up. Like it doesn't feel good. It feels like it's contributing to what doesn't feel good. And I'm not, yeah. And part of that is probably my grief, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, and you two are beautiful examples of it, like we have to continue to live. And so, this is me checking, I like to cook. I like to cook. That's really what it comes down to.
That
I
was
like to cook.
okay.
And so it door dashing like this repeatedly, like the buying the groceries is my way of being like, okay, this week I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Make this tasty meal. I don't mind experimenting in the kitchen because it always comes out smacking. Okay. Or
Okay.
popping, or whatever the kids say these days. Damn, we really are aunties. Bussin'. That's what it is. God damn. Okay. So yes, being a door dasher, a serial door dasher, while being someone who enjoys cooking, um, it gets satisfaction of it. I want to go back to those habits because that to me feels like taking care of myself.
Okay.
It's okay to do it once in a while, but the fact that it's running up like it's a bill.
Mm.
Why is DoorDash a bill in my budget? So like that bothers me. Yeah.
That's fair. I love the fact that you are acknowledging what you've been doing and trying to determine if there's something different that you can do that's going to be beneficial. So we love to see
Mhm.
it. Okay. So y'all know we like to put people on to new things.
Eh,
Period. So, um, I'll go first. I'll say what my new is this week. So my new this week is the Core Power Protein Shake. Okay. The Core Power has 42 grams of protein.
mm.
What? Where is that at? It's on Amazon.
I'll show you the bottle. It is on Amazon too. I'll show you what the bottle look like. Um, and so if you're doing
How
body
many carbs?
hold on, wait a minute. Let me go look. So if you're doing body recomp, uh, this can be helpful because it can help you reach your protein goals easier. You said carb. It's 7 grams of sugar, 42 grams of protein,
Mm.
240 calories.
Is that additional sugar or just
And
sugar?
carbs? How many carbs?
It don't say on here. Hold on, let me go look at the bottom. I'll be back.
Okay.
Let
I
me
feel
make
like
sure.
that low key
Let
while we're
us
waiting,
know.
I feel like that does tie in a little bit to my new, which is just
I'll be back.
getting back on probiotics.
Come on, probiotic, healthy
And
gut.
I just told America I need to get back to taking mine because I
Hmm.
fell off my habits.
These are clear capsule, so I even throw them into my smoothie and stuff if I don't feel like popping them. But I mean, they're easy to swallow.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, and it helps. I feel like when I turn 30, I feel like at midnight, what is that called? Like, it's indigestion where you're just like burping?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like what the fuck is that? Sitting
Yeah.
around in your
My
business and it's
husband
like,
stay burping. I'm like,
yeah.
damn, nigga.
It really be like that too. And so I noticed that when I pop like 3 or 4 of those probiotic pills, I keep mine in the fridge and then I drink something cold, like a cold glass of water, until I feel like my tummy is cold, and then I swallow them. And so for me, I feel like that I notice I'm not burping anymore.
Until your
Okay.
tummy's cold, like you feel it.
Right. So I drink something called, because I read that if you, I mean, you can just take them normally, but they don't get down into you, like in your intestines and stuff. If your stomach acid is just like, you know,
Warm. Hot.
warm and doing it. Yeah. So the medicine might just get a little bit deeper if your stomach is cold.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Interesting.
the internet.
Core power. Oh, those ones.
Okay.
Okay, turn it.
So your question was, what you ask me? Oh, how many carbs?
Carbs.
8 grams of carbs.
Okay, that's not bad for 42. Okay, I might have to
It's worth
pull
it.
up on those. Do they got them at Sam's Club?
Now you know that. Well, I don't know that, but that might. I ain't sure. But if you can, my advice is gonna be, baby, get you a case, because per one, it's real questionable. But if you get you a case,
Hmm.
it'll make a lot more sense price wise.
And how much is the case?
The one I got off of Amazon was, they're different based on flavor. So I only like vanilla stuff. So it was $41.14 for 12.
$41?
Yes.
Huh. Sam's Club has them online for, oh no, I could pick it up for 24.68 for 8.
8, 16, 40. Yeah, you probably could get two and it'll be about the same thing. What flavor is that? Is it the 42 one or is it the other one?
It's 42. It's
Okay.
chocolate. I
Yeah.
don't mind chocolate.
Because on Amazon, a chocolate one is $35.
For 12?
Mm-hmm. So it's cheaper.
Oh,
There's a joke
Amazon.
to be made in there that the vanilla is more
There
expensive.
absolutely is. Because I saw that and was like, what the fuck?
We
And
gonna
then
look
I
at
was
it.
like, I don't have time to argue with them two.
I'll take the chocolate shit.
We
The
gonna
chocolate's not bad. If you take the chocolate, because if you're looking for ways to get more protein, if you take a little bit of one of these and put it in
Oh,
some
$37
and
for, I mean, $7 for wearing
for who? Oh yeah, that's what I said. Get you a case because it's like $6 or $7 for one.
one.
That's why I bought the case.
that makes sense
I
now.
was like, oh hell no.
Oh, I
I
think
did
I'm gonna
try
just.
it. I did buy one first though to make sure I liked it before I got a case, and that's how I
If
knew I
I
liked
don't
it.
like it, it's still gonna get drank.
Yeah, because I tried a lot of different protein shakes, and like this mid.
I was doing the Premier Protein
Okay, I like
one.
it better than Premier.
Okay, the show. Well, thanks for putting me on. I just placed my order.
We love to see it.
Yeah.
So my new is the book that I just finished. My fourth book this year, y'all. I said I'm gonna do 2 books a month, and she did it. She's doing it.
Wow.
It was 7 Days in June by Tia Williams because I know the first book I was reading was a white author. And so I went with my black author. And I have another book that I started today by a black author, a black queer author. So we're doing the spectrum. And I really liked 7 Days in June because it showed a different spectrum of black. It showed like the depressed, like, um, couple that was like, self medicating, doing stuff like that. And so it showed that kind of love story, which I don't feel like is the norm. So it was a nice read. It started off hilarious. And yeah, that's my new. So, like I talked about in my check in habits,
Mhm.
I have this habit tracker that I pay for monthly that I haven't used in months.
It'd be like that.
It does. My Fitness Pal, every meal lets me know I haven't logged for months. And
Mm,
so I know that I have, in some ways, like stayed on top of some things. But other things that I also said were important, I have let kind of fall by the wayside. And mostly because the tracking of food would have to be me confronting what I'm eating. Ooh.
Yikes.
And the way that this depression and emotional eating has been happening is just like, I don't want to confront that, but
Mm.
I'm going to. Starting tomorrow, I'm gonna get back onto my fitness pal because I have a goal, and my goal is to like snatch it up so that I can wear whatever I want to wear. And notice I just said snatch it up. Like, I don't want to put like a number to it. I just want to put like a feeling where I feel confident, where I can put on whatever I want to wear to Beyonce's concert and feel confident.
Right. Right.
I feel like for me, that takes away the pressure, right? Because the scale is a bitch and it was made for skinny white people and it doesn't take into account all these titties and all and ass I got, you know? And so I just want to do it in a way that feels doable. In the past, when I was in my 20s, I could be like, I'm gonna lose 30 pounds in 3 months. And that would be great. Like I would be able to do that. I was able to stay on track and see that happen. Right. But y'all know I've talked about my postpartum weight loss journey and how them numbers ain't going down. And so I have to find other measurements of progress. And so this feels like it honors where I am today
Mhm.
and doesn't put too much pressure on me. Uh-oh.
She said, "Amen."
No, she said, "No pressure." But yes, I talked to a lot of my clients about the ways that routines can improve our lives. Because for someone like me who's on the go and who has a child, like I have to have routines and things in place. I literally pick out my clothes for the whole week on Sunday. I pick out Janae's clothes for the whole week on Sunday. I meal prep, lunch. I told Joe we need to do dinner too, because one thing I'm not going to do is cook after a full day of doing all the things. I'm not doing it. But these are the things that I have to put in place so that I feel like things are like more seamless and I'm not so anxious and stressed out because I'm like, oh, what am I going to wear today? Oh, what is it? You know. But something I did notice is that I had put my clothes out and something wasn't given. I had put on something and it was not given, but I had other options. And so I was like, I could deal with that another day, but I have another outfit. And so it's just small things that I've kind of put in place to make life easier for
Yeah,
me.
I like that. I started doing that too. I started laying out my uh, week's worth of clothes, and so what I kind of told myself was like, okay, I saw this in a documentary one time. Basically, like if a celebrity, like a stylist, would just lay out their clothes, and they come in and just be like, "Ooh, I'll wear this and this today." I was like,
Exactly.
just a little piece of just extra, being
Yeah,
extra, but it's also efficient.
it is.
That's
Because I
really
put
the
the shoes,
lifestyle.
I put the
Extra.
earrings. It's
Mhm.
all ready to go.
Right. Yeah.
What other kinds of routines do y'all have?
I would say for me, I have, as of late, been recognizing my routine more. Getting a healthy routine has been something that I've been wanting to perfect for years and years, really since I like became an adult. Um, and so I have been really looking at that for myself this year too. And for the first time, I've been thinking of what would future me, what would
Yeah,
those routines look like? For a long time,
yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever thought, like, when you were a little kid, like, "What am I gonna look like as a grown up?" You know, and then one day you
Mhm.
look in the mirror and you're like, "Oh, girl, this is it." You
Not
know,
I'm an
like,
adult.
"I'm here," you know? And and so I just, I had a really good talk with one of my dad's, childhood best friends at Christmas, and we were talking about investments and things, but he was just like, he was like, "What I admire that your dad did that I didn't do when we were in our 20s and 30s is setting myself up for the future."
For success.
Right. And so I hadn't yet, and again, I mean, 30 is a good age to, like, just start thinking, like, how do I wanna set 40-year-old Jasmine, 50,
Mhm.
God willing, 60 plus, and then some. So I'm restructuring my mind that way. And I feel like in my 20s and even like as of today, even that a lot of my routines just revolve around what feels good. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's
Mhm.
it's been self-soothing. I have been healing myself and it's taken me a long time, but it's what's been self-soothing. Sometimes that soothing feels like pacifying, but that's just
Mhm.
recognizing that you've outgrown that self-soothing method. And so yeah. So for me, getting back to things, especially in my childhood that I enjoyed. My parents
Oh,
broke up
yes.
when I was like 3. And so I would go to school with my dad and he had primary, and then my mom I would do all my breaks with. And my mom had this thing where at bedtime I would take my bath and then I'd have 30 minutes before my actual bedtime, and I would get to go to bed with a book and, like, read myself to sleep, and then she'd come in and, like, crack a joke, tuck me in, and it was, like, at my prompt bedtime. And I really am trying to, like, get back to that,
Mhm.
detaching myself from the couch, from
The
TV, and it's like
TV.
yeah, and, like, shutting it down, and sometimes your day is so long
Right.
that you're
That
just like,
that
I
it's
need to
okay.
yeah, like, I need to keep watching this garbage TV until I, like, don't think about it, you know? I'm
Right.
gonna smoke this after we joint maybe, like, until I
Right.
stop thinking about it. So I acknowledge that, like, all those things are out there for folks. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's just that's something that it felt good then, and, as a grown ass woman, I feel like I'm a grown woman now, but, like, as a
Mhm.
grown ass
I'm
woman,
a grown
you know what I mean?
woman.
Um as a wife, as a mother, like how would I want to set myself up? Because ultimately those things
Right.
do revolve around us, you know.
Yeah. What kind of routines and habits you got going on, America? Ner
It's the side eye to the poop.
Listen, I just wanted to stop. But anyway, um, so so for me, I think I said this a couple of episodes ago, but I really give myself an opportunity to assess how things are going throughout the week, and then make those changes as I see fit. But I think that's just because I think one of the first steps that we have to engage in when we're trying to create these healthy habits is really understanding what it is that we already do regularly,
Mhm.
and really looking at the patterns in our everyday and in our behavior to see like what's triggering the, I guess we can say unhealthy. So what's triggering the unhealthy habits that I want to change, and like what does that look like? Um,
Right.
and so for me, what I've noticed is because of how my day is structured, I don't have a lot of, or it feels like I don't have a lot of downtime between my last client and going to bed. Because if I want to get up at 3:45, if I want to get up
Mm,
at 3:45,
mm.
it's only 15 more minutes before you.
I
Girl,
know. But it just sounds ungodly.
I have gone
Very
to sleep
ungodly.
more times at 3:45 in the morning than I've woken up and started my day.
Wow.
On purpose.
Girl,
I
for
can't
wow,
blame.
on purpose. Girl.
Can't relate. I
Woo!
am the mid. See, I'm the mid age auntie clearly. Um, but yeah,
You like
so
to get shit done.
I do like to get shit
Yeah,
done.
and you're on the East Coast, girl.
I really like to get shit done. Um, and that shit doesn't necessarily have to be work shit, even though a majority of the time it is. But it's like there's other things that I want to do. Maybe I take my relaxation time in the beginning of the day, and so I don't create the space for it at
Mm-hmm.
night. I'm not really sure, but I need to figure that out in a different way. But because of how my days are structured, I don't have a lot of time between my last client and what's supposed to be wind down bedtime, or at least again, it don't feel like it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so for me, it's been when I was drinking, it was okay. How am I ending the workday? Why am I ending the workday this way? Oh, well, I'm stressed or annoyed or
Mm-hmm.
overstimulated or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So let me have my wine or let me have my shot of Elijah Craig, whatever it is, so that like I can calm myself down,
Calm down.
so that I can
Right.
get ready for the day. And it was like, so when I did dry January, it was like, okay, that gave me an amazing opportunity to really think and be like, well, why does it feel like I don't have time? Now, granted, usually I'm done at 5 or 6, bitch, sometimes 7. And so, of course, if I want to get up at 3, I need to go to bed at 9. And so it's literally 2 hours between
Yeah.
the
Me
time
too.
I'm done, right? And
Right.
I need to go to bed. And so sometimes it feels like a mad dash to
Mm-hmm.
like do all of the fucking things. And then I'm like, oh, well, I don't feel wounded down. Yeah,
Right. Calm down.
wound down when it's time to go to bed. And so I think I used the alcohol or the wine or whatever it was so that I could feel calm enough so that I
Right.
could
So
be,
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
to be able to rest.
that
And
makes sense.
so having dry January allowed me to, well, I made a couple adjustments during January, but it allowed me to say, okay, so I'm not drinking in this 2 or 3 hours of time. What are other things that I can do that are still soothing? Might take a little bit fucking longer than a damn other shot I take, and baby, they did take
Right.
much longer. But what are the things that I can do in place of? And Jasmine, to your point, what I started doing or went back to doing was the things that I did as a child. So when I got home from school as a kid, because I was a fucking bookworm, I would read, and then after I read, I would color or do something else or go outside. So that's what those days consisted of. I found this lady on TikTok, not a lady, a TikTok creator, and she posted 80 things to do after work. And it was an article that she had found.
Can
And
you
she,
share that with us?
I
Yeah.
can't. And she was finding out of the list of the 80 things, she was taking one thing to do every day when she got off work. And then I found another TikTok creator after that who I think hers is really super fucking dope. And I'm gonna probably do hers during the summer. But it was doing something fun every day. So she would
Send it to.
so so she would get off work. I'm guessing she commuted to work. And instead of going straight home, and as she described it, kind of isolating and falling into the bubble of being on the
Mm-hmm.
couch and stuff, she
Right.
literally would take herself to go do something fun. So one day, I'm guessing she's on the West Coast. One day she went and drove to the damn beach and jumped in the middle of the ocean. And like that was her fun thing. She went and got ice cream another day. She went for a bike ride. It was just like all of these things that like
We can do, but
we can
don't.
do,
Yeah.
right. And like at 34, I've really been trying to figure out what do I find fun besides being on an island.
Mm-hmm.
And because I have taken this pandemic more seriously than many
Mm-hmm.
in a way that has been very detrimental to my mental health.
Right. Right.
So I haven't been outside. So it's like, okay, I can't get that feeling back. So what can I do? And so I think the reset in January has helped me figure out what that fun can look like. Like, no,
Right.
I'm not, I'm not in Jamaica. I'm not, whatever. But
I
okay,
gotta go back because,
you
bitch, that
know,
was the time.
Yeah.
and this is from somebody who was literally going out the country every other month. And like that's just what I did. Like that, bitch, I'm sad. I'm going. I'm going to Mexico.
I'm going to
Bitch, I'm
Mexico.
sad.
Yeah.
I'm going to Jamaica. Bitch, I'm sad. Let's go to Aruba. Bitch, I'm sad. That's how I function. And so it's been okay, maybe not sad now, but okay, girl, we anxious. What we gonna do? So it has been coloring. My sauna blanket to me is a no. So I went back to the sauna that you're sitting in. So I got the sauna that you're sitting in too.
So did you
Girl.
return that blanket?
No, but I need to. Because it's been for me. It's not hot enough. And I don't, it seems like a waste if it's
She
not hot.
said, I want my skin to boil.
Yes, I want to feel like a hot dog. Like, why am I whatever? So I went back to the one that I got that you zip up and put your stuff inside of. And so I did that a couple of nights and just like figuring out what felt good that would also allow me to get good sleep. And then I've been starting my day in a very similar way. So, like, of course, I'm going to the gym. I'm there by 5 o'clock because you bitches are not going to be on the hip thrust machine.
You're not. Because I need to build this booty too, bitch.
Period, bitch. So you're not finna get there
You
before me.
not.
So I'm gonna be there at 5 o'clock. But
Period.
okay, when I'm done with that, okay, what does that look like when I come back home? And so what I tell my clients to do, I've also been doing, and it's still got some work, but I've been putting it on my calendar. So it says like 4 to 4:10 is meditate and Vegas reset, Vegas nerve reset. And then
Okay.
4:10 to 4:20 is get your ass dressed. 4:35 is get your ass in the car. So it's like, and then don't say it like that. It's been
Okay. I was gonna
nicer
pounce
this
on that.
Right. Right.
it's been much nicer this time. But because even my alarm says moving your body is a privilege, not a punishment. Like
Come
so
on, friend.
we're trying, girl. It's
My my say, let's get up, beautiful. Let's rock the day.
we love to hear it. So bitch,
Yeah. I changed mine from one of the generic like startles of alarms that's in the iPhone
yes, please.
into my favorite Spice Girl song, which is Never Give Up on the
Yes.
Good Times. Yeah.
Yes. Love to see that.
I love that it's a Spice Girl song. I'm sorry. Um, I love that. But so just figuring out what that looks like and being okay that if like last week I was off, so most of those days I still got up at 4 o'clock, but 2 or 3 of them I didn't. And like, okay, but did I still do the things that I set out to do?
All right.
Yes. And I set the intention the week before. I said, all right, now you probably are not going to see the hip thrust at 5 a.m. every day this week, but you will see it before noon. And like that was my adjustment because I'm off. So
Right.
why the hell am I getting up at
Right.
5?
That is always the big thing, like, because you can kind of feel like you're not being as productive if
Oh,
you're not getting up as
yeah,
early as you usually do. And
that
it's
was
like,
very
bitch, you deserve to be able to sleep in sometimes. You're
rough.
still gonna get to it.
Yeah,
Just because you're not up at the crack of dawn, don't take away from the gains you're about to get.
correct. And shout out to Bay for that because the first day I got up at 3:45 and he was like, what are you doing? And I said, and he said, aren't you off this week? And I said, mind your business. Yeah. But also I gotta go to the gym. And he said, you're off. What's the difference between you going to the gym at 5 and you
Right.
at 10 or 11?
Right.
And of course I wanted to box, but then I was like, you're right, there's no difference. Because I think we get really hung up sometimes when we're creating these routines, is we get hung up on a schedule. And so like if
Hmm.
I can't do it at this time, I can't do it. And like
Right.
really want to build healthy and sustainable habits, we gotta also create the room for some flexibility sometimes.
Right.
So, did you still make the space to do the things that you wanted to do? Yeah, even if the time looked a little different, and that's okay.
Right. Right. And giving yourself that fluidity, right? To say, like, I can still work out at 9 p.m. and it still count towards my day. I won't be gonna I won't be like working out at 9, but if I have to make adjustments, that doesn't take away from the fact that I did hit those goals. And so allowing yourself to have intentions that you want to hit on instead of saying like rigid, this is
Yeah.
this or nothing, you know?
Yeah.
And we gotta be willing to be more realistic with all of this. I think that one of the reasons why we set New Year's, even though you know how I feel about resolutions, but I think one of the reasons why we set New Year's resolutions and then we fall off is
Right.
because we are literally trying to do all of the things at one time.
Right.
So it's like, oh, I have to hit the protein, hit my water every single day, go do strength training, followed by 30 minutes of cardio because the girls on TikTok said if I got to do
Mhm.
12, 3:30, and if I don't do 12, 3:30 every day for the next 30 days, right? And it's like, and I got to read and I got to make sure I'm meditating and oh, I got to journal and I got to sit in a sauna and I got to color and I got to be outside and I got to take my fish oil and my probiotics. And it's all
Right.
things that we're expecting
Yeah.
ourselves to be able to do. And bitch, you want me to do all of that and still go to work?
I was gonna say, and go to
Right.
work and show up for the other people in your life.
Yeah.
Like
You want me to
that's
do all of that? That's
a
insane.
lot. Yeah.
And I think that's why we fall off because it feels like a lot because it is a lot.
It
And
Right.
so
is.
some weeks, some days, you might not hit the probiotic, your protein, you might not hit your water, you might not have worked out as long as you want to. The workout might have been trash. There's
Right.
a lot of things that, but that's okay. For me, it's like, okay, what did I do today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I did these things. Okay. It's never what didn't I do, it's what can I do different tomorrow?
Right.
Like that was a conversation I had with myself today. Oh, you look a little puffy this morning. That's cool, baby, because we know because the hips are given, right? So we know we're doing something right. Okay,
Right.
cool. And my conversation was, okay, what adjustments do I need to make? Not necessarily next week, but tomorrow, today. When I said it, I said, what adjustments do I need to make today? Okay, I know that yesterday I was a little off on my water and I only had 2 Stanleys, so that's only 80 ounces. I need to have
Right.
3 Stanleys because that's 120. Bet.
Right.
And I was like, I can do that. That's it. I'm not gonna give myself hell, not no more.
Right. But that's the growth.
Right, because it's not okay. Because once we go into that, well, you didn't do this and you didn't do this and you didn't do this, your body gonna be like, well, okay, bitch, well, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna do nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. How about I just see you're not doing nothing and make that permanent?
Make it permanent. And next thing you know, you ain't worked out or did shit for 6 months because
Or
you
six.
were having this conversation with yourself that you're not doing it anyway, or you're not doing it
Mm-hmm.
good enough, or there's something
Yeah.
wrong. And so
Right.
then your actions start to reflect that.
It's
Right.
the good enough in the perfectionism for me that like needs to stop. But those, well, we have to acknowledge that those go hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
They do.
And not stop, make friends with it.
Mm.
That's been my go-to. I'm that perfectionism is not going nowhere.
Like I want to be great.
Yeah,
Like, and that's not a bad thing.
it's not a
It's
bad
just
thing.
about how much pressure I put on the need to be great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hmm. Even when I catch myself, well, you didn't. You know what? I know where this is coming from. Because baby, you done been super snatched before, and you have been not that, and
Right.
now you somewhere, you somewhere in the middle. And so, yeah, I know that this perfectionism is screaming at me right now.
It is.
She knows that I could be a different version, or she knows what the
Right.
healthier version of me looks like. Okay, baby, but guess what, baby? Things have changed. And at
Right.
core, my life and responsibilities look very different from what they look like at 24, 25.
Right.
So
Right. Giving yourself that grace
Right.
so that you don't have to hold yourself to that standard because that time could have come and gone.
yeah,
And what do I look like chasing after it?
right.
Mm. I've
Because then I'll
experienced
never be happy. Sorry.
on the no, no, I just I'm kind of on a different end of the spectrum. I when I reflect to high school, college, and I know when I graduated college, I still felt because I had a toxic relationship, I had a boyfriend that, you know, this dude was like 5'8", to tiny like don't ever let a tiny
How tall are
dude
you?
tell you I'm 5'6".
Okay.
What is that height?
5'5" and 3/4, actually. 5'5" with brown eyes.
Oh, never mind. I got you by a little bit. Then never mind.
Sunrise. It still applies. Um, but yeah, so yeah, we were about the same size, and yeah, like I just I I was a I was 120 when I was 18 because I ran track.
120 pounds? I
120.
don't ever recall
I've
being that.
never.
I was 120. Get this, when I was running track
Woo,
in high
shit.
school, I was taking whey protein and doubling my workouts to
Mm,
120.
mm.
You know what I mean? Teeny, I used to stuff my
Mhm.
bra and I could see the curvage was there, right? I've always had a little butt on me. Well, I always had a butt.
You
Like you
got
never
that
knew good or
ass.
bad. But I was the small boobed, big butt body type.
Mm.
And I used to pray for boobs, and now I have them, but I also put on like 60 more pounds with them to get them. But a lot of that also we have to acknowledge, one, birth control changed my body,
Oh, hell
Mhm.
yeah.
and two, when you work out and eat a lot, there's a correlation there. When you just eat a lot and you stop working out, well, like this is things happen
Right.
biologically. So I had to acknowledge, one, when you sleep with someone who tells you that your body is lesser than or just like just cut that person out of your life, girl. Do it for
Oh, God.
yourself. All
No.
right. And one, and this is why also I no longer date men 5'9" or below.
Cause
You gotta be 6 foot to ride this ride. And that's not like a height, it's just like I'm not gonna deal with your shit. I
With
no.
your insecurities.
Yeah, I'm not doing it, Napoleon. So thank
Napoleon.
that college boyfriend for ruining it for the rest of y'all. Uh, but also understanding that my routine changed, right?
Right.
I was forcefully, if you play sports in school, you are forced to work out 5 days
Mhm.
a week. When you go to college and you are not in sports, you don't have to do that.
Right.
There's
And
food,
you don't make it
there's
a
alcohol.
priority.
You're right, and so just acknowledge that our lifestyles have changed over the years. For
Mhm.
me, Jasmine, you mentioned that you have, so you don't have a number, right?
Mhm.
So your goal is just to feel good going to Renaissance. And I can vouch with that 100%. For me, I know that when I graduated college, I was 160. And even though I felt big at that time, when I look back at those pictures, it's like, no. Like, had you had those eyebrows on point back then, girl, that was it. So now that I do have the
The
eyebrows on point,
eyebrows was holding you back.
you know what I mean? But like, that's for me now. I am cognitive of a number, but for me, I want to go in my closet and just grab whatever feels good
Right.
and not have to worry about it pinching or poking or
Mhm.
not fitting. Um, yeah, yeah.
I feel that, girl.
And so it's how can our day to day, um, what's the word, empower us to just feel the way we want to feel about ourselves. I want to get back to the version of me that wasn't affected by trauma and just got to just flourish and be myself. I miss being an artistic little kid. I was, like you said, America, like, color a picture, go outside, climb a tree. I don't know if I'm gonna get back in a tree anytime soon.
Right.
But
Mm-mm.
but just like that mindset,
Mhm.
riding your bike around your neighborhood. It's really the little things. And if
It
we can
really
break
is.
down our adult routines to mirror the joys that we felt back back in the day, then,
Right.
let's make those
Back in the day.
adjustments. Let's make those
Right.
adjustments for ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. I think it would be helpful to just kind of let the people know what some of the habits and routines that we have already going on or have had in the past that we want to bring to the present.
Mhm.
Um, so I'll go ahead and start. Like, I have a, oh, go.
Sorry, just real quick. Um, before we start talking about our individual routines, I just want to say that because this conversation, we're talking about habits and we kind of went down a path of weight loss, but I do think, or weight in general, but I do
Mm,
think that it's important to understand that this is still transferable because what it boils down to is this is about mindset. This is about
right,
mindset and this is about somatic work and practices because
right,
this is not about a number on the scale. This is not about the number of times you work out. This is not about completely about the food that you eat or any of that other stuff. This is really about
right,
how you feel about yourself, the conversations that you're having with yourself, and being able to notice what's happening for you internally as it's
right.
coming up so that you can do the work to meet yourself where you are emotionally so that you can do the things that you say you want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah,
How can you show up for yourself day to day?
And know that it takes practice.
Yeah.
it does. It definitely does. Um, and I think to that point, like in 2020, although we were going through a pandemic, um, I was living my best life because I was at home. I was focused on my the rock solid fitness programs. I was focused on studying for my LCSW exam. I was just focused, right? I was tracking my foods, hitting my protein, like getting fucking snatched, and I never felt better. And so, what I implemented that year was having a morning routine, which I tell my clients about. Like, I literally wake up, and now y'all know I take my pre workout as soon as the alarm goes off. It's like, "Doot," before I can even think about it. It ain't happened this week, but you know, when I'm in it, that is what happens. I do my pre workout, I handle my business, brush my teeth, read a little bit, then the pre workout hits and I get my workout in. After my workout, I do my affirmations with my Palo Santo. I light that shit up and I'm like, positive vibes, mutual relationships, abundance, protection, safety, good energy, and I'm just speaking positivity over myself, my family, and my day. And then I go shower, listen to I Am by Baby Tate. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am rich. I am that bitch. I am gonna go get that bag and I am not gonna take no shit.
Per.
I am protected, well respected. I'm a queen. I'm a dream. I
Mm.
do what I want to do because I'm who I want to be because I am me. So I literally listen to that as I shower, get myself together. Then, because I had all my clothes ready for the week, I just pick out my outfit, do my perfume, hair, all that. Get Janae her outfits ready. We hit the road. We drop her off, go to work. I get to work, close the door, spray my ginger spirit spray, set up my diffuser, turn off the lights, meditate. Now, I will say, last episode we talked about how the holistic practices have been white-eyed. And so I've been doing Dora K on YouTube, doing her meditations, and that's been great because it's a black voice and like good music in the background. And so it really just gives me that time to pour into myself before I open the door and somebody's at my door.
Mm.
And so that's how I like to start my day because I pour into myself a lot first thing in the morning before anything else can happen.
Mm.
At the end of the day, y'all know I smoke my weed. I watch my TV, you know.
Straight
I'm
up.
like, y'all know, I hit the bong, okay? And then I just tap in. I have to get better of putting my phone on do not disturb because I do find myself sometimes on my phone instead of like connecting with my husband. And so I'm working on changing that. But that's what it's about, reflecting on what you want to change. What has worked this week? What hasn't worked? How can I make those adjustments and holding yourself accountable to making those adjustments? Night routine, face mask, maybe, you know, and just try and go to sleep. And then we do meditation with the Peloton app to set us off into sleep. And so those are the things, the habits that I have in place that help me to feel really good. What about y'all? Let me know what I could add to mine.
I'm gonna be honest, mine as of late has not been the healthiest of routines. Um, yeah, and I would say a lot of that came from when I first graduated college, moving to a new city on my own, and uh, working a job that was just really there to make ends meet. And so I got into that habit at that time of smoking a blunt back in those days after work, you know. And then it transitioned into I would come home, take a shower, uh, cook, eat, and I really like to lip sync. And so it would just be a time to like dance around my apartment in my underwear and lip sync. I even have a microphone stand and a microphone, and it's so funny. People come over here and they're like, "Oh, you sing, girl?" And I'm like, "No, that's for lip syncing."
I love it. I love
So
it.
serious with it. So yeah, so like that also doubles as getting in some cardio, getting your heart rate up. So for me, in the last 6 to 8 months, I have gotten away from things like that that are the healthiest. Um, my after work routine nowadays are really just leading with these kids. I talk to my mom almost every day. I like that conversation of kind of when I commute back home and recap my day, and we laugh about all the shenanigans of seventh grade. Um, and then when I get home, yeah, it's really just about a wind down. What I would like for it to look like is having a home cooked meal and maybe once or twice a week cooking. Um, but I would like to my Sundays to be like we meet, we all get together because I look forward to this. Like this is like a good cap to my week or maybe a beginning. I really look forward to our podcast. And so um, some days when we get off, I'm really productive. And then some days I just got to sit with myself and like take it as a day of rest. So I would like to use that time to also set myself up, basically carry this energy with me into starting my week and everything. And what that looks like is tidying up, you know, what's lunch look like this week? What's dinner look like? Are the cats good? You know, I do litter on Thursdays and or Sundays depending on the week and what trash gets picked up. So yeah.
Love that. And I meant to ask, you said wind down as in like wine or like wind?
Either or, really. I'm not a big drinker. That hasn't been like a vice for me. I do enjoy a good glass of wine. Um, but for me it's been a joint. Like that go-to. That's been like the quickest, like shoot, you know, like Frank
Oh,
Ocean
yeah.
said, marijuana's a cheap vacation. Um, but
Sure
I
is, honey.
also I've also have conversation with people about, what's your relationship to marijuana? Are you using it to
Oh, and
pacify,
that
or
right.
is it adding value? You just really have to,
Mhm.
and I understand that marijuana in certain socioeconomic groups uh, is not a building block. It's a hindrance in some instances, which could be a whole nother conversation. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, I still have I still have the same bottle of Grey Goose in here since June. I'm not, yeah, I'm like I'm just not.
Right, big goose bitch and shit.
Is it still
Okay,
good? It doesn't expire, right? I
no,
would.
you
You said something interesting, and I thought I would share what I got for Valentine's Day from Joe.
Oh. What is that? Cannabis for couples?
Cannabis for couples,
I love
enhance
that.
intimacy and elevate your relationship.
I like that. Because
And
I
so it
do.
is,
Go ahead. I'm
it's
sorry.
about how you relate to weed, and
Yeah.
what you are using it for.
Yeah. I do see myself as like that parent that like, the kids, down for the count and like, you and your man just like,
Easily.
and like, yeah.
Gotta do that now.
So like again, millennials, right?
What about you, America?
So
What them habits do?
this has caused me to think about my habits, even though I've been thinking about them lately anyway. And I'm gonna tell you what my thought is after I tell you what they are. Um, so 3:45, the alarm goes off. 4 o'clock is meditate and the Vegas nerve reset. I'm at the gym at 5. I come back home to do cardio because why do I have a Peloton tread and a bike if I'm not going to use it?
Not the tread and the bike. You're
Right.
gonna have to show me your setup.
I sure shall. Um, so um I come home, I do that, and then I walk the dog because she can't walk her damn self. I really wish she could, but here we are. I walk her so she can go do what she needs to do, and then I take a shower and I just started doing skincare because I was told you're supposed to, but here we are.
What do you mean?
Huh?
What do
You're
you
supposed
mean
to.
by that?
I was told you were supposed to. I've never done. I just washed my face with water before. And
You
so
know
I
what?
started a skincare routine.
I keep seeing the what is it, genealogy or Curology? They've been really paying for
Curology.
their ads lately.
Curology is good though. I've tried it.
Okay. I was like, because they're really coming heavy with the ads as of late.
Yeah. So genetically, I was blessed in that. So I've never thought about doing skin stuff, but whatever. So I do skin stuff now.
So
Um,
you will wash your face with water and then do what after that?
before,
Go about her business.
Hmm.
but that was it. I might get a
Like
little
you wouldn't put
alcohol, but that was I've never
A
done it.
little what?
you
You would add a
wouldn't
little
put
what?
Maybe I might rub it off with some rubbing alcohol.
My grandma does that.
That's it. Other
and
than that,
you
I've
wouldn't
never
put
done.
no like moisturizer, you'd just be
Mm-mm.
And it
okay.
always look like this.
Okay.
That's why people talk about skin. I'm like, mine is genetic because I've never done anything until like the last my birthday was
Wow.
December, October, November, maybe.
All
I
right.
went to Sephora and was like, fuck it, y'all here. I'm gonna buy a bunch of shit I saw on TikTok. And even the
What?
woman in Sephora was like, what do you use now? And I said water. And like she had the other people come look, she moving my damn mask. Girl, get out my face. This is what my skin look like. Um, so anyway, so
Everybody table.
shower in now phase, and then it's either journaling and or reading, which that shit has been a hit or miss. And then I do the rest of the day until 7 ish, 8 ish, and then I go walk the dog. So this is the problem. I then have to eat, walk the dog, nurture relationships with outside humans.
Feed the dog.
Feed the well, we gonna pause in the middle to make sure she because if not, because she gonna let you know she here. Okay.
That's funny.
She gonna get her needs met regardless. So I love that for her. I really
Period.
I love it. I'm like, I'm really proud of you because you are your mama's child. I love it. Um, so yeah, and then it's literally taking a shower. Sometimes usually it's a Peloton meditation because Ross is God's gift to the new free world. He deserves all good things. Um, and then it's the same thing again the next morning. But what I realized is, I talk a lot about self-care. I talk a lot about making sure that you pay yourself before you do anything for anybody else. and I do that, and I'm for the most part pretty consistent about it. But I wrote this down. I engage in a lot of these practices, but they aren't rooted in actual rest and recharging. And I think that's my problem. And so I now need to
Okay.
figure out what that looks like. Like, you know, people who, I don't know, like the fact that you read 4 books to me is like, where the hell is this time at that you have to read 4 books? Then I realized we got 2 different lives. Your life look different than mine. We da 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 whatever whatever. So then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, and that feels restful for you. And when I do sit to read or listen to an audible, it feels resting, but then it also feels like I just said this in a schedule, right? So it's my day is scheduled. And it's
Mhm.
always I gotta move on to the next thing. So I'm doing this and now I've got to do this, and then we gotta do this, and then we gotta do this, and then I gotta do this. And so yeah, I'm doing the things to care for myself, but
Mhm.
it does not feel resting
Right.
all ever.
And
So
is it like more so the presence and being present in the things, or is it just you doing the things to say that you did the things?
I
Okay.
think I'm present in them because I've been checking on that too, because I am a very much like, okay, I did it, now what? Like, but I am present in them. I think it's just the fact that it always feels rushed. Everything
Mm.
feels like I gotta move on to the next thing. I got something else
Mhm.
to do. There's something else to do. There's something else to do. So I think that I need to, not I think I know. I'm now going to spend some time when we're done thinking about what actual rest and recharge looks like
Looks
for
like,
me.
yeah.
And that's gonna be what we do next week.
I like that.
Thank you. I'm gonna
Yes.
Google rest and recharge because clearly I
You
don't.
know what? I, as redundant as it sounds, I, even listening to you two, it's like I found myself of like, man, I can reflect on when I had unhealthy habits in a routine, but it's like, what really is my routine now? You know, and I feel
Mhm.
like I would fall in that bucket of like, what really is it?
Right.
What is the reason? Um, yeah. Hopefully, that can strike a chord with some of our listeners. But yeah, you know, I I guess as redundant as it sounds, I tell myself like, am I relaxing too much, right? Am I taking too much time to recharge?
Mm,
And really, is there a cap on it? You know? But at the same time, it's like you want to get things done, things
Right.
accomplished. You want to move forward.
And so that's an important piece to kind of check in on in that regard.
Hmm.
But we thought this would be a good topic because we're knocking on March's door, and it's good to kind of check in and see how your habits are aligning with what you say that you want for yourself. And so I know I needed this conversation because like I said, have allowed work related stress to kind of decrease my habits. And so I want to check in with myself. So hopefully y'all got something out of this. And I just want to remind you that you can drink the green drinks, drink a gallon, hike 24 miles, do CrossFit. But if you're ignoring the things going on in your head and in your heart, then you're still not truly healthy. So go on ahead and seek therapy. We all need it.
Bye, girl.
yeah.